Far out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, where the horizon melts into deep blue skies and ancient volcanic peaks rise gracefully above rolling hills, lies a cluster of islands shrouded in mist and legend, the Azores. Here, nature expresses herself in bold, lush colors: emerald green forests, sapphire lakes, black volcanic earth, and steaming fumaroles. Among these islands, 3 locations stand out as extraordinary wonders: Sete Cidades Lakes, Furnas, and Pico Island. Each weaves its own story, shaped by fire and water, enchantment, and the timeless pulse of the earth itself. Begin with Sete Cidades, on São Miguel Island, a landscape straight from the pages of a fairy tale. As morning mists lift and sunlight pours across the crater rim, the true drama of this caldera is revealed. Twin lakes, delicately side by side, one a vibrant blue, the other a lush green. From up above, at the Vista do Rei viewpoint, the panorama is breathtaking. A vast volcanic bowl, blanketed in forest and meadows, with the sparkling surfaces of the lakes reflecting the changing moods of sky and cloud. Legends tell of star-crossed lovers, the blue lake born of a princess's tears, the green from those of her shepherd beloved, forever joined yet forever divided by the crater's ridge. But the true marvel lies in the forces that forged this vast depression. Ancient eruptions sculpted a massive caldera, later filled by rainwater and spring-fed streams. Over time, subtle differences in depth, light, and aquatic plants transformed the lakes. One shimmering turquoise, the other a jade, creating the perfect illusion of nature's sorrow and beauty entwined. Wander along the tranquil paths circling these magical waters. Wild hydrangeas bloom in explosion of blues and pinks. Cows graze on impossibly green slopes, and now and then, the faint scent of wild mint lingers in the air. The small village of Sete Cidades nestles quietly at the lakeshore, its white church and cozy cottages framed by volcanic peaks. Paddle a kayak across calm waters, the silent crater's walls towering above, or simply find a quiet bench to sit and watch the changing light. Here, time seems to slow, and the world is reduced to color, reflection, and peace. Travel east across São Miguel, and you'll find a different side of volcanic life, the geothermal haven of Furnas. Approach this storied valley, and you'll notice wisps of steam rising from bubbling earth, a sign that deep beneath your feet, the forces of magma and water are still at play. Furnas is a place where the ground breathes, where hot springs and fumaroles hiss, and where locals have learned to harness the Earth's energy in surprising ways. Step into Terra Nostra Park, a wonderland of exotic trees, lush ferns, and terraced gardens. At its heart glows a vast, ochre-colored thermal pool, heated by the Earth's own warmth. Slip into these soothing waters, and you'll be bathing in the same geothermal spring enjoyed by visitors for over 2 centuries. Around you, camellias, azaleas, and palm trees flourish, fed by the rich volcanic soil and constant humidity. In the village center, explore the famous calderas, roiling vents that send plumes of hot vapor into the air. Here, cooks lower pots of fresh meat and vegetables into the ground to slowly simmer for hours. The resulting stew, called cozido, is infused with minerals and an unmistakable earthy aroma, a flavor that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. As you walk through the gardens and past the fumaroles, you'll smell the subtle scent of sulfur carried on the breeze, a reminder that this lush paradise rests atop a living volcano. But Furnas is not just about heat and earth. It is also a sanctuary of water. The tranquil lake Lagoa das Furnas lies encircled by forest, its surface often shrouded in mist. Boardwalks wind along its shores, and you'll find chapels, ornately carved from volcanic stone, standing silent witness to centuries of devotion and wonder. Explore the lake's edge, where more steam vents whisper, and admire the unique blend of science and tradition that defines this remarkable valley. Leaving the island of São Miguel behind, the adventure continues to the island of Pico, a realm where Earth reaches sky in a single dramatic thrust. Rising more than 2,300 meters above the Atlantic, Pico Mountain is Portugal's highest peak, its cone often cloaked in delicate veils of cloud. Here the world is carved from ancient lava. Fields of black basalt stone snake between whitewashed villages and endless rows of vineyards. The first impression of Pico Island is one of majesty and solitude. Jagged lava flows bear silent witness to millennia of eruptions. Stone-walled vineyards, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, sprawl across the landscape. These walled enclosures, cures, protect grapevines from relentless Atlantic winds and foster a microclimate perfect for lush, mineral-rich wine. Stroll between rows of currant green leaves and twisted vines and sample the island's celebrated white verdejo. The taste is crisp, lightly salty, a memory of wind and stone. Yet Pico offers more than just beauty and wine. The climb to its summit is a rite of passage for many, demanding yet deeply rewarding. Scramble over scoria fields and past silent craters, every step revealing new vistas. Neighboring islands floating in distant mist, fields of wildflowers, and above all, a sky so close it seems you could touch it. At the very top, the reward is utter silence broken only by wind and the heartbeat thrum of Earth itself. Along the rugged coast, discover the remnants of a lost age. Stone harbors once bustling with whalers, now peaceful outposts where the ocean's vastness inspires awe rather than fear. Dive beneath the waves to explore underwater volcanic formations, teeming with marine life, or venture farther offshore for the chance to spot sperm whales and dolphins. The people of Pico have lived with both the gifts and the dangers of their volcanic home, shaping a hardy culture rich in tradition and close to the land. Set Cidades, Furna, and Pico, each profoundly different, yet linked by the restless energy that shapes the Azores. Here, every view is a testament to resilience, of people who learn to live with fire and steam, of landscapes transformed by eruption and renewal, and of an archipelago at the edge of Europe, where the spirit of adventure is alive in every stone, every bubbling spring, every towering peak. To visit these places is to witness nature's artistry and feel for a moment the wonder of creation itself. Set in the heart of Alentejo, the enchanting city of Évora stands as one of Portugal's most treasured historical gems. Its cobbled streets echo with stories stretching back over 2 millennia. Among its most celebrated landmarks, 2 monuments in particular capture the imagination of all who visit. The awe-inspiring Roman Temple of Évora and the haunting yet fascinating Chapel of Bones. Each structure immerses visitors in a journey through time, telling tales of faith, artistry, and the resilience of the human spirit. Rising proudly amidst the city's bustling center, the Roman Temple of Évora is an enduring symbol of the ancient world's prowess and ambition. Often referred to as the Temple of Diana, though historians debate its original dedication. This majestic construction hails from the 1st century AD, during the golden age of Roman Lusitania. The temple, set on a granite base, is instantly recognizable by its graceful Corinthian columns carved from local granite and marble. Their slender forms, crowned with ornately detailed capitals, hold aloft a fragmentary entablature that has withstood centuries of change. It is hard to imagine the scope and power of the Roman Empire without standing before these ancient columns. Once part of a thriving Roman forum, the temple was built to honor the Emperor Augustus, and later was associated, albeit incorrectly, with the goddess Diana. Here, within the heart of Évora, the temple served as a focal point of worship and civic pride, a testimony to the city's prominence within the Roman province of Lusitania. Despite suffering the ravages of invasions and the passage of time, the temple survived thanks to a remarkable twist of fate. During the Middle Ages, the structure was repurposed as a stronghold, later transformed into a butcher's shop, with its sacred walls shielded by additional structures that, ironically, protected it from destruction. As centuries passed and the city grew around it, the Roman temple's historical and architectural importance came to be fully recognized. Restoration efforts in the 19th century removed the later additions, carefully revealing the remnants that had so improbably survived. Today, the temple is a striking monument to both Évora's Roman heritage and the continuity of human endeavor. Its weathered stones standing as silent witnesses to countless generations. Just a short stroll away from this ancient sanctuary lies another of Évora's most unusual sights, one that draws visitors from across the world with a fascination both somber and profound. The Chapel of Bones, or Capella dos Ossos. Erected in the 16th century by Franciscan monks, this extraordinary chapel sits within the Church of St. Francis, its unassuming facade masking the powerful spectacle within. Stepping across the threshold, visitors enter a space where the very walls, arches, and pillars are lined with countless human skulls and bones. The chapel is small, offering an intimate space for reflection amid the macabre artistry of its construction. Estimates suggest close to 5,000 skeletons were used in its creation, bones exhumed from local cemeteries that had overflowed during periods of population growth and plague. The monks, motivated by a desire for both practicality and spiritual contemplation, sought in this arrangement a message for all who entered. Life is transient, our time on earth fleeting. Inscribed above the entrance is the chapel's most chilling message. Nos ossos que aqui estamos, pelos vossos esperamos. Translated as, we bones that are here await yours. This phrase embodies the purpose of the chapel, not as a morbid spectacle, but as an invitation to reflect on mortality, humility, and the impermanence of material things. Each skull and femur, carefully arranged in geometric patterns, forms a unique mosaic, their individuality subsumed into a larger tapestry that connects generations, reminding each of us of our place within the eternal cycle of life and death. Yet within this space, charged with reminders of mortality, there is also a powerful sense of peace. Sunlight filters through small, high windows, casting faint glimmers on the bony surfaces. The gentle hush broken only by whispered prayers or the footfalls of visitors lost in thought. Despite its somber purpose, the Chapel of Bones is not a monument to despair, but one to humility and faith. Monks who built it believed that by confronting death directly, one might be inspired to live more fully, to prioritize virtue over vanity. Outside, Évora itself beckons with the colors and sounds of daily life. And yet, the balance of its monuments, one rooted in the grandeur of ancient Rome, the other in the reflective spirit of the Christian faith, represents the unique character of this city. The Roman temple speaks of Évora's role in empires past, its place as a hub of civilization and culture. Its columns tell of worship, civic beauty, and the resilience of classical ideals. The Chapel of Bones, by contrast, draws visitors into the heart of existential meditation, using artistry wrought from human remains to prompt deep questions about purpose, destiny, and the legacy we leave behind. The story of both places woven together creates a tapestry that is profoundly Évora. Here, layers of history blend effortlessly, the Roman, the medieval, the Baroque, all finding expression in limestone and marble, bone and faith. The city's traditions remain vibrantly alive, shaped by those who once built temples to their gods or chapels to their beliefs, and carried forward by each new generation who strolls its storied avenues. For those who journey to Évora, the experience is never merely architectural. It is emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. There is wonder in running your hand across stone columns that have stood through the rise and fall of empires. There is humility in gazing at the silent rows of skulls, each once the vessel of a unique life, now gathered in common testament. The city invites us not only to look but to see, to contemplate the grand achievements of our ancestors as well as the limits imposed by time. Even today, as Évora thrives as a center of learning and culture, its monuments serve as beacons, emblems of what we may achieve, what endures, and what, inevitably, fades. The Roman Temple and the Chapel of Bones are not simply tourist destinations. They are portals to understanding who we are, from the splendor of our highest aspirations to the solemn truths we must all one day face. In Évora, the past is never far away. It is alive in every worn stone, every quiet corridor, every thoughtful step taken beneath the Alentejo sky. Port wine, with its deep ruby hue and complex flavor notes, is a true jewel of Portuguese tradition. Born from the sun-drenched vineyards of the Douro Valley, port is more than just a drink. It's a story of history, land, and deeply held craft. The rolling terraces above the Douro River are where grapes destined for port wine begin their journey. Here, ancient vines are tended by hand, their roots twisting down through schist and clay, absorbing the unique character of the region. As autumn approaches, the heat of the Portuguese sun coaxes the grapes to peak ripeness, filling them with an intense, concentrated sweetness. Harvest in the Douro is a communal celebration. Families and neighbors gather to pick the grapes, sometimes singing traditional fados as they work. It's a time-honored ritual that has remained largely unchanged for generations. In many small wineries, Algarve foot treading is still practiced, where grapes are crushed by foot in large stone basins to gently extract pigment and flavor. A process that ensures a smooth, robust port. The juice is then fortified with grape spirit, which halts fermentation and locks in the natural sugars, resulting in that beloved rich, sweet profile. Aged in oak barrels or sometimes in large vats, port develops layers of flavor, dried fruits, caramel, nuts, osquiat and spice, while retaining a luscious, velvety mouthfeel. Each bottle, whether it be a youthful ruby, a mellow tawny, or a rare vintage, tells the story of a place and its people. Paired with port, Portuguese cuisine shines in dishes that capture the heart of both land and sea. One such dish is the classic polvo a lagareiro, a celebration of octopus, olive oil, and the rustic flavors of the Atlantic coast. Polvo a lagareiro is more than just a recipe. It's a sensory experience, evoking the salty air and sunlit shores of Portugal. The journey of polvo a lagareiro begins with the careful preparation of the octopus. It's cooked slowly, often first simmered until tender, a process that allows the tentacles to soak up the subtle flavors of bay leaf, garlic, and just a splash of white wine. Once succulent, the octopus is laid out on a baking tray and generously drizzled with golden olive oil, a nod to the lagareiro, or olive oil miller traditions, before being roasted to develop a crispy, caramelized crust. Alongside, potatoes, sometimes smashed for extra texture, bake in the oil, absorbing every drop of flavor. The aroma wafting from the oven is an invitation in itself. Earthy potatoes mingling with the sweet brininess of the sea, the warmth of roasting garlic, and the grassy fruitiness of extra virgin olive oil. Finished with a sprinkle of fresh parsley, a handful of olives, and perhaps a squeeze of lemon, polvo a lagareiro is simple, yet deeply satisfying. A dish that honors its humble roots while elevating everyday ingredients. Together, port wine and polvo a lagareiro form a partnership that goes beyond mere taste. The sweet, full-bodied notes of port provide a striking contrast to the savory, salty flavors of the dish, enhancing each bite and sip. As the meal unfolds, stories are shared, laughter echoes, and traditions are passed down across the table. A sip of port lingers after the last bite of octopus, leaving an afterglow that speaks of centuries-old vineyards and the wild Atlantic surf. In Portugal, food and drink are never solitary pleasures. They are social rituals, woven into the fabric of everyday life. Sharing port and polvo a lagareiro is sharing the very soul of Portugal, a place where every meal is a celebration of heritage, and every glass is raised in the spirit of friendship and hospitality. Standing proudly on the northern bank of the Tagus River, the Belém Tower is more than just a symbol of Lisbon. It's a tangible echo of Portugal's age of discoveries. Constructed in the early 16th century, this fortress was originally built to guard Lisbon's harbor, playing a pivotal role in the story of explorers who set sail to uncharted worlds. Today, the tower stands as a monument to dreams of adventure and the enduring legacy of a seafaring nation. The genesis of Belém Tower traces back to 1514, during the reign of King Manuel I. At that time, Portugal was at the height of its maritime power, with explorers like Vasco da Gama and Ferdinand Magellan charting new courses to Africa, Asia, and beyond. To protect Lisbon, the capital and a thriving port, from sea attacks and invasions, King Manuel commissioned the construction of a robust fortress at the mouth of the Tagus. Designed by architect Francisco de Arruda, the tower took 5 years to complete, blending both defensive strength and decorative flourish. Belém Tower is a masterpiece of the Manueline architectural style, unique to Portugal and named after King Manuel. The style is characterized by ornate motifs inspired by the sea, exploration, and the natural world. As you approach the tower, you'll notice sculpted stone ropes, armillary spheres, crosses of the Order of Christ, and intricate heraldic shields decorating its facade. A closer look reveals beautiful balconies and delicate watchtowers, giving the fortress a fairy tale appearance. both formidable and enchanting. Rising 4 stories high, the tower was constructed from local Leo's limestone, giving it a warm golden hue that glows in the sunlight. The lower bastion, built in a hexagonal shape, once bristled with cannons, its angled design ingeniously engineered to withstand cannonballs and tides. Above it, the narrower tower section held not only military quarters but also a chapel, interconnected by spiral staircases. Throughout its history, Belém Tower has served multiple purposes. While imagined as an impregnable bulwark, its strategic location quickly made it the ceremonial gateway to Lisbon. Returning explorers were greeted here with great fanfare, and for many, the tower represented the threshold between the known and the mysterious. In later centuries, it also functioned as a customs post, a telegraph station, and even a prison. The setting of the tower is as evocative as its structure. Situated at the point where the Tagus meets the Atlantic, Belém Tower witnessed the departure and return of countless Portuguese caravels. Across its stone defenses, you can almost imagine the sails of departing ships billowing in the wind, carrying tales of adventure and trade to distant shores. Looking out over Lisbon's waterfront today, you see a tapestry of modern life, yet the spirit of discovery lingers in the air. In 1983, Belém Tower was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, along with the nearby Jerónimos Monastery. Together, these monuments celebrate the golden age when the world grew both larger and smaller, when Portuguese navigators redrew the map and shaped global connections. Visitors from around the world now climb its winding stairs for panoramic views of Lisbon and the river, tracing the steps of sailors who once gazed out anxiously, wondering what mysteries lay ahead. Belém Tower endures as an emblem of Portugal's adventurous soul. With its intricate carvings, its resilient foundations, and storied past, it invites us to reflect on the courage of exploration and the beauty of cultural heritage. In its stones and shadows, the tower reminds us that the journey is as important as the destination, and that the spirit of discovery is timeless. When exploring the rich tapestry of Portuguese cuisine, 2 standout dishes offer a taste of tradition and regional pride: the bifana and leitão da bairrada. Each dish tells its own story, revealing the culture, flavors, and customs of Portugal. The bifana, a beloved Portuguese pork sandwich, is a simple yet satisfying street food found in cafes and snack bars across the country. Thin slices of pork are marinated in a mixture of white wine, garlic, paprika, and spices before being quickly seared on a hot grill. The result is meat that's tender, juicy, and packed with flavor. Served in a soft, crusty roll, the bifana strikes a perfect balance between savory, zesty, and comforting. Locals may enjoy it plain or topped with mustard or piri-piri sauce for an extra kick. Whether accompanying a midday snack or late-night feast, the bifana reflects the Portuguese love for no-fuss, delicious food that brings people together. Travel a bit further north to the Bairrada region, and you'll encounter a culinary masterpiece: leitão da bairrada, or Bairrada-style roast suckling pig. Revered as a symbol of celebration and festivity, leitão da bairrada begins with carefully selected piglets, sometimes fed on special diets for optimal flavor. They're seasoned with a flavorful blend of garlic, pepper, lard, bay leaves, and local spices, then slow roasted in wood-fired ovens. This meticulous process results in incredibly tender, succulent meat beneath an irresistible, crispy, golden skin. Traditionally, leitão da bairrada is served with thin-cut potato chips, orange slices, and a glass of regional sparkling wine, enhancing the experience. From a quick, savory bite on the go to a grand meal shared with family and friends, the bifana and leitão da bairrada perfectly embody Portugal's culinary soul. Rooted in tradition, rich in flavor, and always leading to moments of joy. Rising gracefully on the northern bank of Lisbon's Tagus River, the Jerónimos Monastery stands as a breathtaking testament to Portugal's age of exploration and the country's unique architectural legacy. An emblem of grandeur, faith, and history, its magnificent silhouette has for centuries drawn travelers from every corner of the world. The monastery's story is woven into the fabric of Portugal's golden era, a period when Portuguese sails spanned mighty oceans and new worlds were unveiled across uncharted seas. Commissioned in 1501 by King Manuel I, the Jeronimos Monastery was conceived to commemorate Vasco da Gama's groundbreaking voyage to India, a journey that forever altered the course of global history by opening new trade routes between Europe and the East. Built on the site of a former hermitage, where monks prayed for seafarers venturing beyond the known world, the monastery would come to symbolize both the spiritual aspirations and the maritime triumphs of a nation. The most striking feature of Jeronimos is its Manueline architecture, a style so unique that it bears the name of King Manuel himself. This late Gothic form is exuberant, characterized by intricate ornamentation, maritime motifs, and symbolic flourishes inspired by Portugal's discoveries. Here, stone seems to come alive. Twisted rope patterns, carved coral, armillary spheres, and fantastical sea creatures spiral across facade and cloister. Enormous windows are framed with sculpted foliage and nautical elements, drawing in the Atlantic light and the viewer's admiration. As you approach the main entrance, the portal commands attention. Its elaborate traceries and profusion of saints, angels, and explorers speak of faith and adventure. Above it all, the statue of Henry the Navigator stands watchful, linking the sacred to the seafaring. Step inside, and the cool, cavernous interior stuns with its soaring stone pillars, each one a marvel of craftsmanship. The vaulted ceilings branch out in complex webs, evoking an ethereal forest that soars heavenward, seemingly suspended by faith alone. Within the serene cloisters, sunlight and shadow dance across the arches, lending a sense of tranquil beauty that invites reflection. Wander the double-tiered galleries, and you'll discover even more manifold details. Coral-like carvings, columns entwined with sea rope, and delicate flora evoking the wonders of both ocean and earth. In every corner, the spirit of Portugal's age of discoveries lingers, a reminder of the country's maritime might and restless curiosity. But Jeronimos is not merely an architectural wonder. It is also a mausoleum, cradling the tombs of some of Portugal's most illustrious sons. Most notably, it is the final resting place of Vasco da Gama himself. The explorer's tomb lies near the entrance to the church, a white marble masterpiece ornamented with carvings that celebrate his legendary achievements. It is here that visitors pause in silent homage to the man whose courage and vision carried Portugal across continents and established enduring connections between distant worlds. Nearby, another tomb houses the remains of the revered poet Luís de Camões, whose epic verses immortalized Portugal's explorers and imbued the nation's spirit with lyrical grandeur. These hallowed tombs are more than memorials. They are chapters in Portugal's unfolding story, echoing the dreams, struggles, and triumphs of a pioneering people. For over 500 years, the Jeronimos Monastery has weathered the tides of time, surviving earthquakes, invasions, and revolutions. Today, it endures as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a beacon of Portugal's ingenuity and faith. Standing beneath its majestic vaults, one cannot help but be transported to an age of discovery, to a world shaped by visionaries, and to a place where stone, sea, and spirit are forever intertwined. Winding along the gentle slopes rising from the banks of the Tagus River lies Alfama, Lisbon's oldest and most iconic neighborhood. This centuries-old quarter is a labyrinth of narrow alleyways, steep cobbled streets, and hidden courtyards, each corner telling stories of resilience, tradition, and transformation. As the morning sun casts a warm golden hue over terracotta rooftops, Alfama stirs to life, echoing with the sounds of daily rituals. Market vendors setting up stalls, locals greeting each other in melodic Portuguese, and the distant strains of fado guitar chords floating through the air. Unlike many European cities, whose oldest districts have given way to modernization, Alfama stands as a remarkable survivor. It remained mostly untouched by the devastating earthquake that struck Lisbon in 1755, preserving a patchwork of medieval architecture and Moorish influences. The essence of its history can be felt in every worn stone stairway, vine-covered balcony, and wrought iron lantern that lights the way after sunset. Strolling through Alfama, there's an immediate sense of timelessness. The streets are impossibly narrow, sometimes so tight that sunlight struggles to pierce through, and pedestrians often brush past each other with a nod or a greeting. Above, laundry flutters from window to window, a cascade of color against walls painted in time-worn pastels. Here, cars are rare. The terrain is best navigated on foot or by the iconic yellow tram 28, which zigzags through the neighborhood's heart. Each twist and turn offers unexpected glimpses: a tiny church, a bustling tavern, or a quiet square shaded by ancient trees. At the very core of Alfama lies its most enchanting treasure: fado music. Born in the taverns and humble homes of this district, fado is the soul of Lisbon, a haunting, melancholic form of song that reflects longing, love, and the bittersweet joys of life. As dusk falls, the doors of small fado houses creak open, welcoming visitors and locals alike into intimate venues powered by little more than candlelight and raw emotion. The powerful voices of fado singers, or fadistas, weave hypnotic tales that resonate in the hearts of every listener. Their deep, mournful tones accompanied by the gentle melodies of the classic Portuguese guitarra. Alfama is also a living testament to Lisbon's rich tapestry of cultures and epics. The district was once home to Romans, Visigoths, and later the Moors, who gave Alfama its name, a derivative of the Arabic al-Hamma, meaning fountains or baths. Remnants of Moorish rule linger in the neighborhood's layout, its winding streets designed as a protective maze against invaders, and in the ancient walls of the imposing São Jorge Castle that watches over Alfama from its hilltop perch. Beyond the music and the history, Alfama is alive with everyday rhythms and celebrations. Mornings begin with the aroma of freshly baked bread drifting from tiny bakeries and the melodious shouts of vendors at the Feira da Ladra, Lisbon's beloved flea market. Here one can hunt for treasures: antique tiles, vintage records, rare books, each item holding a piece of Lisbon's past. The day unfolds into afternoons spent lounging in outdoor cafes, sipping ginginha, a sweet cherry liqueur, while soaking in views of the river glittering in the sunlight. As evening settles in, Alfama becomes a neighborhood transformed. Lanterns glow warmly above cobbled streets, laughter spills from neighborhood restaurants, and the spell of fado draws people closer together. It is in these magical hours that Alfama reveals its greatest secret: the ability to connect people across cultures and generations through the universal languages of music, resilience, and the simple joy of living. In Alfama, the past is always present, inviting all who wander its alleys to become part of Lisbon's timeless story. To truly understand the culture of Portugal, start by exploring its beloved foods. Two of the most iconic dishes, bacalhau à brás and pastéis de nata, perfectly capture Portugal's soul, blending tradition, flavor, and history in every bite. Let's take a journey through the roots of these culinary gems and uncover what makes them so special. First, imagine walking into a traditional Portuguese tavern. The air is filled with the comforting aroma of onions sizzling in olive oil, and the faint scent of salted codfish wafts through the room. Bacalhau à brás is one of the nation's most cherished dishes. Its story goes back centuries, rooted in Portugal's close relationship with the sea. Bacalhau, or salted cod, arrived in Portuguese kitchens through deep-sea fishing expeditions. Fishermen preserved cod in salt, making it an affordable and long-lasting staple. And over the years, the Portuguese found 1,000 ways to prepare it. So many that it's often jokingly said there are more recipes for bacalhau than days in the year. Bacalhau à brás is perhaps the ultimate comfort food for many families. It begins with soaking thick fillets of salted cod in water for hours, often overnight, to remove the excess salt. Then the cod is shredded into fine, silky threads. In a heavy pan, onions are gently sautéed in good olive oil until soft and golden. Garlic adds another layer of warmth. Next come potatoes, cut finely into matchstick-sized batons, fried until crispy on the outside, yet delicate within. The shredded cod is added to the mix, binding together with the savory onions. Before beaten eggs are poured in, just enough to gently set and hold everything together. The result is a rich, creamy medley, brimming with the savory flavors of cod, sweet onions, and fluffy potatoes. Black olives and a sprinkle of fresh parsley complete the dish, giving it a bright, briny finish. Eating bacalhau à brás brings a sense of home and history. Each bite is a reminder of seafaring ancestors, resourceful cooks, and the communal, family-centered meals that define Portuguese dining. But the meal would not be complete without a taste of something sweet. Enter the pastéis de nata, Portugal's world-famous custard tart. Their journey began inside the walls of the Jerónimos Monastery in Belém, Lisbon, over 200 years ago. In those days, egg whites were commonly used to starch monks' and nuns' habits, leaving many leftover yolks. The monks, resourceful and inventive, began mixing those yolks with sugar, cream, and a hint of vanilla, creating a rich, silky custard. They poured the mixture into flaky pastry shells, baking them in wood-fired ovens until the tops caramelized to a golden, slightly scorched finish. When the monastery closed in the early 19th century, the secret recipe was sold to a local bakery, which continues to guard it closely to this day. Yet pastéis de nata are now found in cafes and bakeries across Portugal and beyond, each one offering its own version of this decadent treat. Biting into a pastel de nata is a multi-sensory experience. The crust shatters delicately, revealing a warm, creamy filling that's both light and indulgent. Often a dusting of cinnamon or powdered sugar is added just before serving, enhancing the sweet, aromatic flavors. These tarts are usually enjoyed with a bica, Portugal's answer to a strong espresso, making for a perfect mid-morning or afternoon delight. Both bacalhau à brás and pastéis de nata showcase the heart of Portuguese cuisine: ingenuity, tradition, and a deep connection to both land and sea. Whether you taste them at a bustling Lisbon restaurant, a rural family kitchen, or try making them at home, each dish tells a story, one that stretches across centuries, rooted in love and an unmistakable sense of Portuguese identity. Rising gracefully over the shimmering waters of the Douro River, the Dom Luís through a bridge stands as one of Portugal's most iconic monuments, a testament to the power of engineering and the spirit of Porto itself. From its sweeping iron arches to its bustling pedestrian crossings, this remarkable structure has shaped the landscape and skyline of northern Portugal for generations, weaving together history, technology, and breathtaking beauty. The story of the Dom Luís Thurá Bridge begins in the late 19th century, during a period of transformation for the city of Porto. As trade flourished, the need for an enduring connection between Porto and Vila Nova de Gaia grew ever more apparent. The banks of the Douro had been linked by earlier bridges, but none could match the grandeur or practicality that the city's ambitions demanded. The challenge fell to engineer Theophile Seyrig, a disciple of Gustave Eiffel, whose expertise in ironwork led to a design that would become both daring and elegant. Completed in 1886, the Dom Luís Thurá Bridge was a marvel of its era. Stretching over 385 meters, it held the title of the longest iron arch in the world at the time. What set it apart was its innovative double-deck structure, 2 levels cradled within the mighty iron framework, allowing both road and pedestrian traffic to travel seamlessly between the busy heart of Porto and its storied neighbor Gaia. This unique design not only accommodated the needs of a growing city, but also allowed countless residents and visitors to experience the remarkable panoramic views that the bridge offers to this day. Every step upon the bridge is a walk through living history. On the upper deck, trams and pedestrians glide high above the river, rewarded with sweeping vistas of Porto's dramatic terraced hillsides, red-tiled roofs, and the unmistakable skyline dominated by landmarks like the Sé Cathedral and the Clérigos Tower. To stand here at sunrise or sunset, with the golden light illuminating the city and the river below, is to understand why so many photographers and artists are drawn to this very spot. Down below, the lower deck thrums with the energy of daily life. Here, motorists cross between the city's bustling quarters, while passers-by descend to the riverbanks, where wine cellars invite visitors to discover the region's most famous export, port wine. Along the water's edge, boats bob gently, echoing the rhythms of centuries-old commerce that first necessitated such a bridge. But the Dom Luís Bridge is more than just a functional crossing or a pretty sight. It is a gathering place, a symbol of resilience, and a living link between old and new. Throughout the year, locals and travelers alike celebrate its enduring presence. Festivals see the bridge illuminated with vibrant colors, while fireworks light up the night sky to the delight of thousands. Cyclists and sightseers pause for a moment to appreciate not just the craftsmanship of the ironwork, but the connections, both literal and figurative, that the bridge has fostered. In the decades since its opening, the bridge has withstood the test of time, adapting to modern needs while preserving the character and spirit that first made it remarkable. Restoration efforts and careful maintenance have ensured that the Dom Luís Wedge Bridge remains as captivating today as it was more than a century ago. To cross this bridge is to experience the soul of Porto, a city forever embracing the present while honoring its rich and storied past. For those who seek the best of Porto's panoramic views, historic charm, and vibrant culture, few experiences can compare to a stroll or a tram ride across the Dom Luís Bridge, suspended elegantly above the Douro, where every glance reveals a new perspective on one of Europe's most enchanting cities. In the vibrant city of Porto, food carries a story of tradition, creativity, and comfort. Few dishes showcase this better than the beloved francesinha and the humble yet flavorful caldo verde, each offering a window into Portugal's rich culinary heritage. The francesinha, whose name means little French girl, is far from modest. Inspired by the French croque-monsieur but entirely reinvented, it's an indulgent sandwich that captures the soul of Porto. Layers of thinly sliced cured ham, fresh sausage, and juicy steak are stacked between slices of soft white bread. This tower of savory delights is then blanketed in melted cheese and smothered in a rich, spicy beer-infused tomato sauce. Distinctive, tangy, and utterly irresistible. Traditionally, the francesinha is served with a generous helping of crispy French fries, perfect for sopping up every drop of sauce. Each bite is deeply satisfying, a bold celebration of meat, cheese, and comforting flavors that reflect Porto's lively spirit and creativity. In contrast, caldo verde is a testament to the beauty of simplicity. A staple across Portugal, this comforting soup is made from just a few ingredients: finely shredded kale, earthy potatoes, onions, and garlic simmered together in a delicious broth. Slices of chorizo sausage add depth and smokiness, creating a hearty warmth that's perfect for cool evenings. The vivid green swirls of kale make each bowl visually inviting, while the subtle flavors together create a soothing, homey experience. Whether enjoyed in a bustling cafe or at a family table, caldo verde is about nourishment and togetherness, evoking the peaceful countryside and the roots of Portuguese tradition. Together, these dishes offer more than just sustenance. They are an invitation to savor Porto's genuine hospitality and a delicious journey through Portugal's culinary heart. Tucked away beneath the iconic Ponte 25 de Abril Bridge in Lisbon, Portugal, lies one of the city's best-kept secrets, LX Factory. Once a sprawling 19th-century textile industrial complex, this vibrant area has been reimagined into a creative hub, seamlessly blending the city's rich history with its modern pulse. As you wander through the narrow cobblestone streets of LX Factory, every step introduces you to something new, bold, and undeniably stylish. At first glance, the industrial bones of the factory are unmistakable. Brick warehouses and tall chimneys create a raw backdrop that artists and entrepreneurs have transformed into a canvas of creativity. The walls are adorned with colorful street art, ranging from elaborate murals to whimsical graffiti, each piece telling its own unique story. Here, art isn't just on display, it's woven into the very fabric of the place. Some of Lisbon's most talented street artists have left their mark, turning the entire area into an open-air gallery that evolves with every new addition. Shops at LX Factory are anything but ordinary. Forget the typical big-name stores. Instead, expect a curated mix of independent boutiques and concept stores. You'll find vintage clothing and rare vinyl records, handcrafted jewelry and designer stationery, all carefully selected to offer something imaginative and unique. Book lovers won't want to miss Lair Devagar, an expansive bookstore housed in a former printing room. Its soaring shelves, hanging bicycles, and creative book displays make it a destination in itself, perfect for losing yourself among the aisles or simply lingering with a freshly brewed coffee in hand. Of course, LX Factory's reputation as a lifestyle destination wouldn't be complete without its incredible cafes and restaurants. From early morning espressos to late-night cocktails, the options are as diverse as they are tempting. You might start your day at a cozy bakery, savoring a flaky pastel de nata as sunlight streams through factory windows. Later, grab a seat on a rooftop terrace where panoramic views of the bridge and river offer the perfect backdrop for tapas and local wines. Food stalls serve up everything from gourmet burgers to vegan delights, all created with an eye for both quality and sustainability. And yet the appeal of LX Factory goes beyond just great food and shopping. Throughout the year, it comes alive with a sense of community. Creative workshops, street fairs, and live music events invite locals and visitors alike to connect, explore new talents, and celebrate Lisbon's cultural diversity. Designers, tech innovators, and artists mingle and share ideas, making it a place where inspiration feels boundless. Even when there's no event on the calendar, simply being at LX Factory feels like a discovery. At every turn, there's something unexpected. A hidden art installation, an impromptu DJ set, a shop window bursting with personality. The entire district feels alive, constantly reinventing itself while never letting go of its roots. The rawness of the old industrial setting is matched by the freshness of what's inside, a meeting point of past and future, tradition and trend. No visit to Lisbon is complete without experiencing this one-of-a-kind destination. LX Factory invites you to slow down and take it all in. Sip your coffee while watching artists at work, browse the boutiques for something rare and beautiful, and immerse yourself in a side of Lisbon that's energetic, eclectic, and endlessly creative. Whether you're hunting for inspiration, looking to connect with friends, or simply in search of a new experience, LX Factory offers a taste of the city's unbeatable spirit. And a reminder that the coolest places are often found where you least expect them. There's something magical about the flavors of the sea, especially when they're brought together in simple, traditional dishes that have stood the test of time. Let's explore two iconic Portuguese seafood delights: grilled sardines and arroz de marisco, or seafood rice. Grilled sardines are a summer staple along Portugal's sun-drenched coast. Imagine fresh sardines caught that very morning, sprinkled generously with sea salt and placed over hot charcoal. The skin crisps, the flesh turns tender, and the aroma is mouth-watering, smoky, briny, and inviting. Served with slices of rustic bread or a side of grilled peppers and potatoes, each bite is a taste of the ocean, bursting with healthy omega-3s and natural flavor. Eating grilled sardines is more than a meal, it's a ritual. In festivals like Lisbon's Santo Antonio, streets fill with chatter, laughter, and the unmistakable scent of sizzling fish. Now, let's travel to a coastal village at sunset, where a steaming pot of arroz de marisco sits at the center of a family table. This iconic dish is a celebration of the sea. Plump shrimp, tender clams, mussels, and pieces of white fish mingling with short-grained rice in a rich tomato-based broth. Garlic, onions, and fresh herbs add depth, while a splash of white wine lifts the flavors. Each spoonful offers a medley of textures, from the softness of the rice to the succulence of the seafood, all infused with the essence of the Atlantic. Often served family-style, arroz de marisco is about sharing, savoring, and creating cherished memories. Whether enjoyed under the summer sun or in the warmth of a shared meal, grilled sardines and seafood rice capture the heart and soul of Portuguese coastal cuisine, a feast for the senses and a tribute to tradition. Nestled along the lively banks of the Douro River, the Ribeira district of Porto paints a breathtaking portrait of old-world charm blended with modern vibrancy. Here, a patchwork of pastel-hued buildings tumbles down toward the water's edge, their facades a celebration of color that catches the sun from dawn until dusk. The district is a living storybook, its narrow cobbled lanes and medieval arches resonating with centuries of history, while the rhythmic pulse of city life beats stronger than ever. The first thing that captures your attention is the riverfront promenade, where laughter and music drift on the breeze. Cafes and restaurants line the quayside, each with its own inviting terrace bustling with locals and visitors alike. Wrought iron tables are artfully set beneath fluttering umbrellas, offering the perfect spot to sip Portuguese coffee or a glass of the region's renowned port wine. As you settle into a seat, you're met not just with exquisite dishes, but with panoramic views. The majestic Dom Luispa Bridge arching gracefully over the water, and traditional rebelos, once used to ferry barrels of wine, gently bobbing at their moorings. The flavors of Ribeira are as rich and colorful as the scenery. From sizzling plates of bacalhau, a Portuguese classic featuring salted cod, to bowls brimming with fresh seafood caught that very morning. Each meal is a journey through Porto's culinary heritage. Aromas of grilled sardines, garlic, and olive oil mingle in the air, tempting passers-by with promises of unforgettable tastes. For those seeking something sweet, bakeries offer the creamy decadence of pastéis de nata, their crisp, caramelized tops giving way to creamy custard beneath. Local wine bars beckon, showcasing the best vintages from the Douro Valley and inviting conversation late into the evening. Yet Ribeira is about much more than food. It's about atmosphere, a convivial blend of old friends greeting one another, families strolling along the waterfront, and street performers filling the air with the melody of guitars and the hum of laughter. As the sun sets, the district glows in golden light. The buildings, adorned with colorful azulejos, reflect on the river's surface, creating a scene reminiscent of an impressionist painting in real life. Lanterns flicker to life one by one, illuminating the intricate stonework of centuries-old architecture and casting a soft warmth over the cobbled squares. History is woven deeply into Ribeira's fabric. Ancient warehouses, once storied cellars for aging port wine, have been lovingly repurposed into vibrant eateries and boutiques. Small shops sell handmade crafts and souvenirs, while hidden alleys reveal local artisans at work, preserving traditions that have defined the city for generations. Above it all, the Ribeira Square stands as a gathering place, a hub where stories are shared, music is played, and the heartbeat of Porto can be felt most strongly. As you wander through Ribeira, every sense comes alive. The scent of saltwater and citrus merges with the low hum of conversation. Colors, terracottas, yellows, and blues dance on every textured facade, while the cool breeze from the river provides welcome respite from the afternoon sun. It's easy to lose yourself in the district's labyrinth of streets, each turn revealing new surprises. A tucked-away chapel, an artist sketching by the quay, or the distant sound of a fado singer's soulful voice echoing through the dusk. More than just a destination, the Ribeira district is an experience. It's a place where history and modernity exist side by side, where every meal is a celebration, and every evening promises something magical along the shimmering Douro. Whether you come for the food, the music, or the sheer joy of watching boats drift lazily past pastel buildings, one thing is certain. The memory of Ribeira will linger long after you leave, a colorful echo of Porto's enduring spirit. Rising majestically above the cityscape lies an institution steeped in history, learning, and tradition. The University of Coimbra, one of Europe's oldest and most renowned universities. Below, the gentle Mondego River meanders, winding its way through Coimbra's heart, bearing silent witness to centuries of change. These two icons, the university and the river, are inextricably linked, together forming the soul of Coimbra, a city perched on the hills of central Portugal. Coimbra's roots go deep, reaching far back in time to when it was known as Eminium during the days of the Roman Empire. Over centuries, the city blossomed as a trading post and a center of culture, eventually becoming the capital of the Kingdom of Portugal in the 12th century. It was amid this era of prestige and growth that the University of Coimbra was born. Founded in 1290 by King Dinis, it is not just one of Europe's oldest continuously operating universities, but a guardian of Portuguese language, culture, and knowledge, earning its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. One cannot help but be drawn to the university's main campus, the Alta, perched prominently at the city's highest point. As you climb the ancient cobblestone streets, the blend of Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and neoclassical architecture unfolds before your eyes. The imposing iron gates mark your entrance into a world where tradition mingles with innovation. Step into the heart of the university, the Paço das Escolas, or University Courtyard. Here stands the symbol of academic freedom and pursuit, the Joanina Library. Built in the 18th century, this Baroque masterpiece holds over 60,000 volumes, covering everything from medicine and law to philosophy and the classics. The library's opulent gilded decor, painted ceilings, and walls lined with exotic woods create an atmosphere charged with scholarly reverence, where students and visitors alike tread softly, mindful of the weight of hundreds of years of human endeavor contained within. The sprawling campus is alive with other wonders. The university's clock tower, a stoic sentinel, rises above the rooftops, its chimes echoing across the city. For generations, the sound has called students to classes and ceremonies, marking the passage of academic life. The Sala dos Capelos, or graduation hall, preserves moments of triumph and tradition, hosting regal ceremonies under the gaze of portraits and stained glass windows. And the Chapel of St. Michael dazzles with its ornate wooden ceiling and resplendent pipe organ, serving as both sanctuary and concert hall. Coimbra's university is more than stone walls and hallowed halls. It is also a living tradition. Perhaps nothing captures this better than the annual Queima das Fitas, a week-long celebration at the end of the academic year. Draped in the city's signature black capes, students parade through the streets, serenading Coimbra with the soulful melodies of Fado de Coimbra, a unique genre of fado music born here. The festivities are a tapestry of music, color, friendship, and pride, honoring achievement and the enduring bonds between generations of scholars. Below the heights of the university, the Mondego River wends its way through the landscape, shaping the life and rhythm of Coimbra. The Mondego, Portugal's longest river contained entirely within its borders, has always been more than a geographical feature. Its waters have nourished the vineyards and fields of the region, inspired poets, and become a social and recreational centerpiece for the city. Walking along the riverbanks, you'll see the tranquil beauty of the Mondego most vividly. Locals and visitors alike gather on its leafy promenades, shaded park benches, and arching bridges. Rowers glide through the water at dawn, while in the warmth of summer, children splash and play along the shallows. On market days, the hum of conversation drifts across the water, mixing with the calls of birds and the distant chime of church bells from atop the old city. Bridges, the connections between Coimbra's past and present, span the river, each with its own story. The Santa Clara Bridge, once a vital crossing for medieval pilgrims, still bustles with pedestrians and cyclists, offering panoramic views of the city's terraced hills and ochre-tiled rooftops. Across from the busy riverbanks lies the Santa Clara neighborhood, home to the Grand Monastery of Santa Clara a Velha. Surrounded by lush gardens, the monastery stands as a testament to the resilience and faith of its residents, who endured centuries of floods before building a new convent further upstream. For all its historic grandeur, the University of Coimbra is also a crucible of new ideas, innovation, and international exchange. Its 7 faculties, spanning arts, sciences, law, medicine, psychology, sports, and more, draw students from across Portugal and around the globe. The university's spirit is cosmopolitan and progressive, fostering dialogue and collaboration while preserving the unique traditions that make it a beacon of Portuguese identity. On any given day, the streets around the university brim with the energy of youthful inquiry. Students debate philosophy in outdoor cafes, gather for lectures in sunlit courtyards, or retreat to hidden corners of the university's botanical gardens, a living museum with rare species and tranquil groves beloved for centuries as places of reflection. Coimbra, as a whole, vibrates with the harmony of old and new, of ideas born in ancient manuscripts flourishing in modern-day research labs. The Mondego River, for its part, is inseparable from the city's fabric. Its currents carry memories, the laughter of students drifting down from the university steps, the strains of fado at dusk, and the quiet hopes of families watching their children grow. The river has provided a stage for festivals and regattas, its waters aglow with lanterns during celebrations, its bridges adorned with youthful declarations of love and friendship. Evenings in Coimbra are especially magical as the sun dips below the hills and the city's golden light spills across the river. The silhouette of the university crowns the skyline, reflecting in the Mondego's calm surface, a reminder that Coimbra is, above all, a city of continuity and transformation. Here, the passage of time is measured not just in centuries, but also in the stories of all who have been shaped by its wisdom and beauty. Rich in history and pulsing with life, Coimbra invites all who visit to join in its story, to stroll the ancient halls of the university, listen to the songs of fado, or linger beside the Mondego's gentle flow. In this timeless union of education, tradition, nature, and community, Coimbra endures, A city where the river and the university together shape the dreams of everyday people and the destiny of a nation. Nestled amidst the lush hills of Sintra, just a short journey from the heart of Lisbon, Portugal, lies a region brimming with wonder, enchantment, and echoing tales from centuries past. Here, the mist-laden forests cradle palaces and castles of staggering beauty, each with its own story shaped by kings, visionaries, and legends. Among these treasures, 3 landmarks stand out as symbols of Sintra's magical allure: the Pena Palace, the Quinta da Regaleira, and the Moorish Castle. As dawn breaks over the Sintra Mountains, the first rays of sunlight reveal the silhouette of the Pena Palace, perched high above the valley. Bursting with color, ornamentation, and fantastical forms, the palace looks as if it leapt straight from the pages of a fairy tale. Its red and yellow towers rise dramatically from a rocky peak. Domes and minarets adorned with intricate tilework catch the shifting light, and decorative battlements suggest both regal grandeur and playful imagination. The story of Pena Palace begins in the Middle Ages, when a humble chapel dedicated to Our Lady of Pena stood alone among the clouds. Later, the site became a monastery, a home to monks seeking sanctuary and contemplation within the misty woods. But it was in the 19th century, during the Romantic era, that King Ferdinand II transformed this gentle summit into the dazzling palace we see today. Inspired by the Romantic movement sweeping through Europe, Ferdinand set out to build not just a royal retreat, but a monument to art, culture, and the sheer magic of existence. He commissioned architects and artists to harken back to Gothic, Renaissance, and Moorish motifs, blending them into a unique and fantastical whole. Touring Pena Palace is a journey through vivid rooms and opulent halls. Visitors are greeted by alabaster statues, elaborate stucco ceilings, and walls adorned with tiles in every imaginable shade of blue and gold. Outside, the sprawling terraces offer panoramic views that stretch from the forests of Sintra to the sparkling Atlantic Ocean beyond. Walking through the palace grounds, one can wander into the vast Pena Park, a carefully landscaped wonderland filled with winding paths, secret grottos, exotic trees from distant lands, and tranquil ponds where swans glide lazily. It's easy to see how this place became a haven for artists, poets, and dreamers alike. A testament to the romantic spirit that cherishes beauty, mystery, and the transformative power of nature. A short journey away, hidden among the dense foliage and winding lanes of Sintra, lies another jewel, the enigmatic Quinta da Regaleira. At first glance, the mansion's neo-Gothic facade and flamboyant turrets capture the imagination. But it's the estate's secretive labyrinth of gardens, grottos, tunnels, and mystical monuments that truly beguile all who enter. Designed at the turn of the 20th century for the eccentric millionaire Antonio Augusto Carvalho Monteiro, Quinta da Regaleira is more than just a grand home. It's a living alchemical manuscript in stone and earth, a symbolic playground for seekers of mystery and spiritual wisdom. Monteiro, deeply fascinated by alchemy, masonry, and the esoteric traditions of Europe, commissioned the Italian architect Luigi Manini to create a space where myth, magic, and symbolism intertwine. The gardens of Quinta da Regaleira are a dreamscape of hidden meanings and secret rituals. Among the estate's highlights is the legendary Initiation Well. Descending this spiral staircase, one enters a subterranean tower that seems to plunge straight into the heart of the earth. Each step is said to symbolize a passage through the mysteries, an initiation into ancient knowledge and the eternal dance between light and darkness. As you wander through the shady pathways, you'll encounter mythological statues, fountains guarded by dragons, and tiny chapels tucked away beneath canopies of hanging ivy. Networks of underground tunnels link these magical features, encouraging guests to lose themselves in a world where every path hints at hidden truths. Even the very architecture of the main house is sprinkled with enigmatic symbols. Gargoyles leer from the rooftops, stone faces emerge from doorways, and mysterious orders are inscribed in discreet corners. Everywhere, there is the sense that Quinta da Regaleira is not just a place to visit, but a story to be discovered. One that invites reflection on the mysteries of nature, the cosmos, and the self. Standing guard over Sintra's wild highlands, the Moorish castle offers a stark contrast to the extravagant palaces below. Its weathered stone ramparts stretch like a sleeping serpent along a precipitous ridge, seeming to dissolve into the fog. Built during the 8th and 9th centuries by the Moors, who once ruled much of the Iberian Peninsula, the castle was both a fortress and an outpost. Its mighty walls designed to keep watch over the land and sea, to protect and to endure. Though centuries of conflict, conquest, and the ceaseless passage of time have left the castle in ruins, the Moorish castle retains a haunting majesty. Climbing the ancient stone steps, hands brushing against blocks worn smooth by generations of centuries, one can't help but feel the weight of history. The view from the ramparts is nothing short of spectacular. On clear days, Sintra's palaces and forests spread all around, and the vast blue of the Atlantic glimmers on the horizon. In the quiet interludes between the wind and the calls of hillside birds, you can almost sense the echoes of distant voices. Soldiers standing vigil, traders journeying west, conquerors and kings plotting their destiny. Today, the Moorish castle invites visitors to step into the world of the past, to imagine the fort as it once was, a formidable bastion, its walls bristling with defenders, fires burning in the watchtowers, banners whipping in the mountain breeze. Its enduring stones serve as a reminder that Sintra's beauty has always attracted dreamers, settlers, and visionaries. Together, the Pena Palace, Quinta da Regalera, and the Moorish castle embody the spirit of Sintra, a place where fantasy and reality merge, where history winds itself through misty forests and over ancient stones. These landmarks invite exploration not just of their storied walls, but of the imagination itself. Whether one is drawn by their romantic beauty, seduced by their mystical secrets, or stirred by the echoes of battles past, each site offers a journey into the heart of Portugal's cultural and natural wonders. To visit Sintra is to walk in the footsteps of monarchs, poets, and mystics, to lose oneself among terraces of colored stone and gardens of mystery, and to return with stories that shimmer like the morning mist over these timeless hills. Stretching along the southern coast of Portugal, the Algarve region is home to some of the world's most breathtaking coastal landscapes. A world where dramatic cliffs plunge into the azure Atlantic, hidden caves beckon just beyond sun-washed beaches, and ancient towns reveal centuries of seafaring heritage. In this journey, we'll explore some of the Algarve's crown jewels: the legendary Benagil Cave, the spellbinding promontory of Ponta da Piedade, and the captivating town of Lagos. The adventure begins near the quiet fishing village of Benagil. From the shoreline, the Atlantic shimmers under the southern sun, but just a short boat ride away, something truly magical awaits. The Benagil Sea Cave, or Algarve de Benagil, is not only a masterpiece sculpted by nature over millennia, but also an icon of the Algarve. Instantly recognizable by its vast dome ceiling punctuated with a single round skylight, the so-called Eye of Benagil. Sunlight pours through this opening, casting golden beams onto the powdery sand below and turning the sheltered sea into a kaleidoscope of blues and greens. The cave itself is only accessible by water. Adventurous souls paddle out on kayaks or glide in on small boats, ducking through the narrow entrance into a hidden world of smooth, sandy floors surrounded by layers of ochre and gold rock. The echo of waves fills the cavern, magnifying the sense of seclusion and wonder. The interplay of light and shadow across rippling stone arches creates an ever-changing mural, a testament to the raw artistry of wind and waves. Standing inside the cave, gazing up through the skylight at the vastness beyond, one feels both infinitesimally small and completely connected to the grandeur of nature. Just to the west, the coastline crescendos into another natural marvel, Ponta da Piedade, the Point of Piety. Set near the historic city of Lagos, this promontory is a labyrinth of limestone cliffs and stacks, sculpted by relentless sea and wind over thousands of years. Here, sheer cliffs rise to dizzying heights, their rugged faces carved with labyrinthine caves, grottos, and natural arches, all flanked by crystalline waters. Visitors can wander the clifftop trails, marveling at the patchwork of wildflowers that cling to the stony ground, and peering down into secret coves where turquoise waters lap against honey-colored sand. Wooden staircases wind down to vantage points and small beaches nestled between stone towers. offering views every bit as dazzling as the journey to reach them. But it's from the water that Ponta da Piedade reveals its most captivating aspect. Tour boats and kayaks thread skillfully between the rocky outcrops, navigating through hidden tunnels and sunlit arches so slender they seem to defy gravity. The water here shines in shades that shift from emerald to sapphire, every hue reflecting the interplay between sun, stone, and sea. Between the soaring spires and into the snug grottos, the world narrows to a realm of silent awe, broken only by the cries of seabirds wheeling overhead and the gentle lap of the tide. Looming above it all, the ancient lighthouse of Ponta da Piedade stands as a silent guardian, its beams sweeping across the restless ocean, a beacon of safety since the late 19th century. For countless generations, these headlands have guided fishermen and explorers, and today, they draw visitors from every corner of the world, each seeking a glimpse of the Algarve's untamed magic. To the north of Ponta da Piedade lies the coastal town of Lagos, a place where Portugal's storied past and sun-soaked present blend in perfect harmony. Enclosed within sturdy 16th century walls, Lagos reveals itself as a tapestry of narrow cobbled lanes, whitewashed houses, and bustling squares. The town's rich history stretches back to Roman times, but its heart and soul have always belonged to the sea. In the age of discovery, Lagos was a hub of exploration, sending caravels and explorers into the unknown, opening new pages in the world's maritime history. Today, the spirit of adventure lingers in its picturesque harbor, where fishing boats bob beside sleek yachts and waterfront cafes offer views across the sparkling bay. The town is alive with energy. Markets buzz with the scent of grilled sardines. Local artisans craft intricate pottery, and the rhythm of street performers fills the sun-dappled squares. Just steps from the town center, some of the Algarve's best-loved beaches stretch along the coastline, each with its own character. Praia Dona Ana, framed by golden cliffs, invites swimmers and sunbathers alike, while the broad sands of Maya Praia offer endless space to play, explore, and soak in the southern sun. As the tide ebbs, hidden sea caves and coves become accessible for moments of quiet solitude, nestled between stone arches and natural windows opening to the sea. Throughout Lagos, history waits at every turn. The ancient city walls stand in quiet testimony to the battles of centuries past. The graceful Igreja de Santo Antonio, with its dazzling interior of gilded wood and intricate carvings, reflects the town's enduring connection to faith and beauty. Even the simple act of wandering the city's streets reveals layers of art, history, and tradition that make Lagos a living museum, rooted in the past but thriving in the present. In the Algarve, every day is shaped by the sun and sea. The rhythm of tides and breezes dictate life along the coast, and the beauty of this region lies in its rich tapestry of nature, history, and culture. From the mystical Benagil Cave, a cathedral of rock and light, accessible only to the adventurous, to the awe-inspiring cliffs and hidden coves of Ponta da Piedade, and finally into the welcoming fold of Lagos, a town where the echoes of explorers still linger. The Algarve invites visitors to marvel, to wander, and to immerse themselves in a land where the romance of the sea is alive at every turn. Whether you come for the natural wonders, the stories etched into stone and sand, or the simple pleasures of sea air and warm sun, the Algarve's Benagil Cave, Ponta da Piedade, and Lagos together offer a voyage of endless discovery, one that lingers in memory long after the journey has ended. Nestled in the heart of the Atlantic Ocean, the island of Madeira is a tapestry of natural wonder, adventure, and vibrant culture. Rising steeply from the sea, Madeira's rugged peaks and green valleys have long lured travelers in search of beauty and tranquility. Within this enchanting paradise, 3 experiences stand out as iconic. The dramatic summit of Pico do Arrieiro, the lush Levada walks meandering through an ancient landscape, and the colorful city life of Funchal. Each promises a distinct journey, woven together by the island's welcoming spirit. Begin your exploration high above the clouds at Pico do Arrieiro. As the 3rd highest peak in Madeira, reaching an altitude of 1,818 meters, the journey to Pico do Arrieiro is one of anticipation and awe. The winding mountain road that ascends to the summit offers glimpses of the island's raw volcanic origins, cliffs draped with emerald foliage, and deep valleys dotted with whitewashed villages. Arriving at the summit, visitors are often greeted by a spectacle few places on Earth can match. A sea of clouds swirling below jagged peaks, kissed by the soft light of dawn. The air is crisp and clean, carrying the scent of wildflowers and pine. From the viewpoint, the grandeur of Madeira's mountains unfolds in every direction. On clear days, distant peaks appear as islands rising from a misty ocean, and on rare mornings you might discover yourself walking above the clouds as the sun turns the world gold. For the adventurous, Pico do Arrieiro is the gateway to one of the island's most famous hikes, the trail to Pico Ruivo, Madeira's tallest mountain. This trail is a marvel of engineering, clinging to cliffs, burrowing through tunnels, and revealing ever-changing vistas at every turn. You'll feel dwarfed by sharp ridges and ancient rocks, and in spring, bursts of pink and yellow flowers transform the highlands into a living tapestry. Birdsong echoes through the valleys, and the endemic Madeira firecrest, the island's signature songbird, flits between the twisted laurel trees. Descending from the mountains, Madeira reveals another side of its magic, the Levada Walks. The levadas are an ingenious network of irrigation channels, carved into the island's slopes centuries ago to carry water from the wet northern forests to the sun-drenched fields of the south. Alongside these waterways, narrow paths snake through tunnels of green, offering walkers access to the heart of the island's lush Laura Silva forest, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Each Levada walk offers a different window into Madeira's soul. Some, like the Levada dos 25 Fontes, wind through quiet glens, with the gentle gurgle of water and shafts of sunlight dancing through a canopy of ancient laurel and heather. Moss, fern, and wild orchids flourish in this cool shade, painting the landscape in every shade of green. The walk culminates at a hidden amphitheater, where 25 springs tumble down mossy cliff faces into a crystal pool, an oasis of tranquility untouched by time. Other levadas, like the Levada do Caldeirão Verde, lead through tunnels excavated by hand and along precipitous cliffs, promising heart-stirring views of distant peaks and plunging valleys. Waterfalls cascade from great heights, and swirling mists lend the forest a dreamlike allure. Along the way, walkers are reminded of the human ingenuity that sculpted these routes, and of the generations who toiled to sustain life on this rugged island. Beyond the breathtaking nature and trails, life in Madeira beats with a different energy in Funchal, the island's vibrant capital. Sheltered by a dramatic amphitheater of mountains, Funchal spills down to the Atlantic in a mosaic of red rooftops, pastel-hued facades, and abundant gardens. Here, the spirit of the island is ever-present, shaped by centuries as a gateway between continents. A stroll through Funchal's streets reveals a blend of old-world charm and modern vitality. Cobbled lanes wind past ornate churches, bustling squares, and centuries-old merchant houses. The Mercado dos Lavradores, or farmers' market, is a feast for the senses. Vendors in traditional dress offer exotic fruits, vibrant vegetables, and fragrant flowers, along with the catch of the day from the surrounding seas. The air buzzes with voices, laughter, and the scent of spice and sugar. Art and culture thrive in Funchal's old town, where striking street art blooms on every corner, and historic forts watch over the harbor. The cafe terraces along the waterfront are perfect for lingering over a cup of strong, locally roasted coffee or a glass of Madeira wine. Fortified, aromatic, and steeped in history. For those drawn to the island's maritime heritage, Funchal's harbor stands as both a link to the past and a node of modern life. Painted fishing boats bob beside sleek yachts, and every evening, the sunset paints the sky in shades of orange and violet as lights flicker into life along the shore. The renowned Cristiano Ronaldo Museum honors the island's most famous son, drawing football fans from across the globe. In the upper reaches of the city, the tropical gardens of Monte beckon with a different kind of wonder. Winding paths lined with exotic flowers, tranquil lakes, and sweeping views over the city and sea below. Adventurous visitors might try a traditional toboggan run, gliding downhill in a wicker sled skillfully steered by local carreros, a custom unchanged for generations. Food in Funchal is a celebration of land and sea, best enjoyed in family-run restaurants where recipes are lovingly passed down. Savor black scabbard fish with sweet banana, bolo do caco bread still warm from the griddle, or espetada, skewers of marinated beef grilled over open flames and served with mountain herbs. Each meal is a reminder of Madeira's generosity and the richness of its traditions. What unites these experiences? The wild heights of Pico do Arriero, the leafy passageways of the Levadas, and the vibrant rhythm of Funchal is a sense of discovery. Madeira is an island that rewards both serenity and adventure, where every step brings new perspective and every encounter offers genuine warmth. To journey through Madeira is to witness the harmony of nature and culture, to taste the fruits of land and sea, and to be swept along by the friendliness of its people. Whether you're standing above the clouds, walking beneath ancient trees, or soaking in the life of its capital, Madeira invites you to pause, breathe deeply, and embrace the magic that has enchanted travelers for generations. Nestled in the heart of Porto, Portugal, stands Livraria Lello, a bookstore as enchanting as the stories it shelters upon its shelves. With more than a century of history, this literary landmark has captivated countless visitors with its breathtaking architecture, rich legacy, and a touch of magical charm said to have inspired J.K. Rowling herself. Stepping through the neo-Gothic facade and into the store, you're immediately greeted by grandeur. The carved wooden ceilings soar overhead, adorned with elaborate motifs that invite gazes upward in admiration. A majestic crimson staircase, its balustrade swirling like waves of velvet, orchestrates an irresistible invitation towards the upper level. It's this iconic staircase that has become a symbol of Livraria Lello, drawing artists, architects, book lovers, and travelers from around the world to marvel at its elegance. But the wonder doesn't end at the architecture. Every nook and cranny of the bookstore is illuminated by warm, filtered light, streaming in through vividly colored stained glass skylights. The centerpiece of the ceiling is a glass panel emblazoned with the store's motto, Decus in Labor, or Dignity in Work, beautifully setting the tone for the reverence of literature that defines Livraria Lello. Founded in 1906 by brothers Jose and Antonio Lello, the bookstore quickly became a hub for Porto's intellectual community. It wasn't simply a place to buy books. It was a sanctuary for thinkers, writers, and artists to gather, share ideas, and nurture creativity. Even after more than 100 years, that spirit endures, as visitors from all walks of life find themselves united by a love of literature. Perhaps it's no surprise then that Livraria Lello is shrouded in a touch of literary legend. Many believe its bewitching interior served as inspiration for J.K. Rowling while she was living in Porto during the early 1990s. At the time, Rowling was developing the magical world of Hogwarts, home to spiral staircases, dark wood paneling, and secret alcoves. Not unlike those within Livraria Lello, though Rowling herself has remained modest on the topic, countless Potter fans feel a spark of familiarity upon entering the store, as if stepping into the corridors of Hogwarts itself. Beyond its ties to magic, Livraria Lello is a haven for bibliophiles. Shelves stretch from floor to ceiling, laden with volumes in countless languages, Portuguese classics, international bestsellers, and rare antique tomes. A visit becomes a journey through history, discovery, and imagination with every turn of the head or page. Yet Livraria Lello is more than a relic of the past. It thrives as a vibrant cultural institution, regularly hosting book launches, exhibitions, concerts, and readings. Contemporary authors and poets share their work alongside the classics, while emerging artists find inspiration amidst the timeless beauty of their surroundings. The store also honors its heritage by supporting Portuguese literature, ensuring that the voices of its own city and country continue to be heard far and wide. Preserving such a treasure is no small feat. To maintain the store's historic architecture and atmospheric charm, a small entrance fee is charged, a fee that doubles as a voucher, encouraging visitors to depart with a cherished novel of their own. In this way, Livraria Lello not only endures but evolves, connecting new generations with the magic of reading. Standing beneath the dazzling stained glass, surrounded by the scent of old paper and polished wood, visitors are reminded that bookstores can be so much more than shops. They can be places of wonder, memory, and discovery. Livraria Lello invites the world to step inside, lose themselves in beauty, and carry a piece of its magic wherever their journey leads. Nestled along the southern banks of the Douro River, directly opposite the vibrant city of Porto, lies Vila Nova de Gaia, an area renowned for its legendary port wine cellars. Here, centuries of tradition linger among steep cobblestone streets and sprawling warehouses where the air is thick with the aroma of maturing wine. It's in these cool, dimly lit cellars that one of Portugal's most iconic exports, port wine, slowly evolves from young, robust must to a complex, velvety drink savored the world over. The story begins in the lush vineyards of the Douro Valley, where grapes are harvested beneath a Mediterranean sun. Once transformed into port, the precious liquid embarks on a journey downriver, destined for the storied lodges of Gaia. Names echo through history: Sandeman, Grams, Taylors, Kalim, each cellar boasting its own distinctive heritage and methods. In these hallowed halls, vast oak barrels and ancient bottles line the walls, quietly aging beneath a constant cool humidity provided naturally by the river's proximity. Guided tours reveal the magic within. Knowledgeable experts explain the artistry of blending and aging, the crucial balance of time and patience. Visitors are invited to savor subtle differences: ruby ports bursting with fruit, the tawny's hints of caramel and dried figs, or the ethereal elegance of vintage years. But it's not only the wines that captivate. The cellars themselves are a testament to history. Arched ceilings blackened by time, stone floors worn smooth by generations of workers, and panoramic terraces offering breathtaking views of Porto's colorful skyline. Exploring the port wine cellars of Vila Nova de Gaia is more than a tasting. It's an immersion in tradition, craftsmanship, and the enduring spirit of Portugal. Each glass tells a story. Each barrel preserves a legacy, and every visit lingers long after the last sip.